I'll start introducing the speakers. Yeah, we have Sri Vijay Shankar Laghate. Is a retired management professional. He is going to focus on crows versus owls, statecraft from Panchatantra's third section. The we have multiple talks on Panchatantra. There is going to be a talk on all the five divisions of Panchatantra. But this particular, the order, please don't mind the order because we had to schedule depending on the time zones of people from different countries and their requirements in their jobs and other areas. So we had to schedule the sequence in such a way that is convenient to the speakers. Sri Vijay Shankar Laghate, he's a retired management professional after studying chemistry at IIT Kharagpur and IIT Kanpur under National Science Talent Scholarship. He completed MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, received scholarship from the British Council to attend a senior executive course at Manchester Business School, worked for 40 years in the chemicals industry. His articles have appeared in various business and industry newspapers and magazines. He has delivered lectures in India and overseas on industry and management topics. After retirement, he started learning about our heritage, studied Sanskrit at that stage, and attended courses on Paninian grammar, Indian mathematics, Mahabharata, Panchatantra, Vedas, et al. And he finds that the Panchatantra has much wisdom useful for adults. It is far more than children's stories. On Panchatantra, he has published a video on YouTube explaining what thoughtful persons may learn from the famous cave story. He has also given a talk to the Institute of Management Consultants of India and an interview to Empowering Times magazine. Another YouTube video of his brings out the important role played by two Indian mathematicians in the calculation of pi. Referring to Ramanujan's pi formula breakthrough for calculating pi to million decimals and more. There is a link to this YouTube talk. So over to you, Sri Vijay Shankar Laghate ji. Please go ahead and present your talk on the third tantra of the Panchatantra.
Thank you for the kind introduction. Namaskar and Hari Om, and warm greetings to all participants. I am deeply grateful to Indica Academy, Dr. Nagaraj Paturiji, and the organizers for giving me this opportunity to speak in this symposium. That too, as an opening batsman, though I am just an amateur in the field of Indian knowledge systems. I will now start screen sharing. So though the Panchatantra is famous for being children's stories, it's actually a textbook on Neeti-Shaastra meant for adults. It was written about 18 centuries ago by Mahapandit Vishnu Sharma, and it draws from Kautilya's Artha-Shaastra and other texts. It has about 1,000 Subhashitani that provide practical worldly wisdom that are cleverly placed inside some 70 entertaining stories and organized into 5 sections. By its unique blend of wisdom and entertainment, Panchatantra has spread across the world over 200 editions in more than 50 languages. This talk is a summary of the third Tantra, Kautilya, which describes the enmity between crows and owls. The opening sentence describes the theme as Na vishvaset purva virodhitasya shatroho cha mitratvam upagatasya. One should not trust a person who has been made hostile in the past or an enemy who now behaves like a friend. In this talk, I will follow Panchatantra's pattern. Namely, I will narrate the main story, of course in a highly abridged version, and give a few important Subhashitas. Ideas that are relevant to today's world I have included through underlined sentences. So this story starts with the birds coming together with a complaint that their king Garuda was so busy attending to his master Vishnu Bhagwan that he had no time to protect them from enemies who killed them. इह न रक्षति वित्रस्थान् पीड्यमानान् परैः सदा जन्तून् पार्थिवरूपेण स कृतान्त न संशय. The king who does not protect his frightened people from constant harassment by enemies is without doubt like Yamadut for the people. This is a very strong statement about a king's primary duty. The birds decided to have another king and selected the owl. They arranged a big coronation ceremony in the morning, and the owl was made ready on the throne. Just then came a crow, considered by the birds to be the cleverest among them. He said, "When the noble Garuda is our king, why have this one who is blind during the day? Also, a second king will create many difficulties. Here's the concept of coalition government." He gave many reasons and convinced the birds that the owl should not be king. So they all left. But the owl did not know this due to his poor vision during daytime. The owl wondered why the coronation is delayed. Finally, some passing bird told him what had happened. The owl got enraged that the crow had stopped him from being crowned king. He said, "Rohati sayatahi vidham, chinnam rohati cha asina, vacha duruktam bibhatsam, na prorahati vakakshatam." Injuries to the body can heal, but not the injuries to the mind from harsh words. Thus, the owls became bitter enemies of the crows. Isn't this a common cause for conflicts anywhere? The crow repented his harsh words against the owl. Balopana apihi buddhiman narah param nayet na swayam eva vairitam vishangam asti iti vichintya bhakshayet akaranat kah hi vichakshana visham. Howsoever strong he may be, a sensible person should not, on his own, create enemies. Who drinks poison just because a doctor is there? Pariparivad parishadi na kathanchit panditen ka vaktavya satyamapi tat na vachyam yata uktam asukhavaham bhavati. Whatever be the situation, it is wise not to reproach another in an assembly. Even if the remark is valid, it should not be said, as it will become the cause of distress. But it was too late. The damage had been done. So every evening after sunset, the owls would circle the tree where the crows lived and kill any crow they could find. Over time, the crow population became less and less. Chatmatram na iha shatrum vyadhim cha prashamam nayet atipushtanga yukta apisapaschit tena hanyate. A disease and an opponent should be controlled or managed in their initial stages, because over time they grow and destroy even the strong. Isn't this true for many of the big conflicts in the world? So the king of the crows called his ministers to discuss measures to tackle the menace of the owls. Here Panchatantra describes the role of the ministers as follows. The advisors must speak in the national interest. Aprishtena api vaktavyam sachiven atra kinchan. Pishtena tvaritan pathyam vachyam cha priyam apriyam. In difficult times, advisors should, without waiting to be asked, proactively speak to the king. And when asked by the king, they must promptly give sound advice regardless of whether The king may like it or not. यह न पृष्ठहितं ब्रूते परिणामे सुखावह मंत्री च प्रियवक्ता च केवलम स रिपु स्मृत. When his advice is sought, the advisor who tells the king what he likes to hear, even though he knows that the end result will not be beneficial, is just a sweet talker and more like an opponent. Pandey's excellent advice. So let's see the advisor's view on how to respond to the attacks from the owls. To the first advisor, Baliyase pranavatam pale praharataam api sampada na apagachanti pratipam iva nimnaga. Our opponent is stronger than us. Let us pacify him. Enter into a peace treaty. We will be able to save our lives, our kingdom, and our resources. Then, when the proper time comes, we can strike. So his suggestion is the peace treaty. The second advisor. No, the opponent cannot be trusted to abide by a peace treaty. We should have confidence in our own strength and attack him. We can defeat him, just like the lion defeats a much bigger elephant and establishes his kingdom. So his suggestion was Yuddha, war. The third advisor. Neither a peace treaty nor a war will work. Our enemy has no scruples and is much stronger. If we attack now, out of overconfidence and without proper preparation, we will lose everything. Better to save ourselves by retreating now. Let us send spies to find his weak spots, prepare well, and later attack him. So his suggestion is yan, that is, retreat now, attack later. To the fourth advisor, none of these suggestions are suitable. Retreat is not proper. If we leave, someone will usurp our place. At the new place we go to, we will have no protection and will succumb to some other opponent. Let us strengthen our present place so that the opponent cannot enter and we will be safe inside. So his suggestion is asana, stay here but fortify it. The fifth advisor says, we are not strong enough to defeat the opponent by ourselves. Let us stay here and find friends with whose help we can together defeat the opponent. If we go to a new place, who will come to help us? So his suggestion was, Saushraya, make an alliance. Finally, the crow king turned to his senior-most advisor by name Sthirajivi. He said, none of the methods proposed are suitable now. In the present situation, we need to make a show of friendly relations with the enemy so that he lowers his guard and then we can destroy him. So his suggestion is Dvaidhi Bhav, called duplicity. That is, like covert operations done by a secret agent. The Crow King agreed. Now we come to the mission by the crows. So the scheme. Sthirajivi advised that when a spy from the owls is around, the Crow King should make a show of attacking and seriously hurting Sthirajivi. Then all the crows should go away, leaving behind the injured Sthirajivi alone. So they did that. The spy informed the Owl King, who rushed with his army to the crow's place. The injured Sthirajivi told the Sthirajivi, leaving him for dead. So Sthirajivi swore he wants revenge for murderous attack by Crow King. He asked the owls for help since he had saved them from attack by the crows. Now the owl king called his ministers for advice. His wise minister said, "An opponent can never be trusted, even though he behaves like a friend. Kill Sthirjivi immediately, because हीन शत्रुः निहन्तव्य यावत् न बलवान् भवेत् प्राप्त स्वपौरुष बल पश्चात् भवति दुर्जयः." A weak enemy should be eliminated before he gains strength. After he gains his confidence and vigor, he can become invincible. कालः सकृत् अभ्येति यत् नर कालकांक्षिणः दुर्लभः स पुनः तेन काल कर्म आचिकीर्षः. If you do not take an opportunity that you were waiting for, it may not come again. The other ministers disagreed. They gave several reasons. Oh, it is wrong to kill someone who has surrendered and placed his life at your mercy. It will be noble on our part to forgive him. He will hate us because he wants revenge on his king. He will give information about the crow's weaknesses, and then we can eliminate the crows. The ministers narrated many interesting stories in support of their views, but we'll skip that and we'll continue the main story. Sthirajiri asked to be cremated so that he could be reborn as an owl and take revenge on the crow king for humiliating him. The wise owl did not believe him, saying he could never give up his basic character as a crow. But the owl king was taken in by Sthirajivi's words. He overruled his wise minister and gave Sthirajivi place inside the owl's cave. Sthirajivi realized that he would then be under constant watch and would not be able to carry out his secret plan to destroy the owls. So he shrewdly pointed out that as a former opponent, it is better that he stay outside the cave at the entrance. And the owl agreed. The wise owl was sure that Sthirajivi was planning trouble for the owls. He told his king and other ministers that they were wrong in giving shelter and food to Sthirajivi. He explained through stories that they are unable to anticipate the problems that they are bringing on themselves. Anagatam yaha kurute sa shobhate. Anagatam yaha na karoti sa shochyate. He who anticipates the problems that may come in future and prepares for them lives well. He who does not suffers. But the owl king paid no heed to the wise owl's words of caution. Then the wise owl left along with his followers, saying, Amitram kurute mitram, mitram dveshti hirasti cha, shubham vetti ashubham, papam bhadra, daivahata narah. A person doomed by fate makes friends with an opponent, hates and destroys a friend, considers good as evil and an evil thing as beneficial. Isn't this a perceptive observation about real life? Sthirajivi was relieved to see the wise owl leaving and said, Santa api artha vinashyanti desha kala virodhinaha aprajnana mantrinaha prapya tamah suryodaya yatha. Just as sunrise removes the darkness, the leader who has imprudent advisers and acts in a way contrary to the requirements of the situation loses all that he possesses. न दीर्घदर्शिनः यस्य मन्त्रिणः स्युः महीपते प्रमायात ध्रुवं तस्य न चिरात् स्यात् परिक्षयः. The leader who does not have far-sighted and well-trained advisers does not last long. Mantri रूपा हि रिपवः संभाव्यन्ते विचक्षणया ये सन्तं नयम् उत्सृज्य सेवन्ते प्रतिलोमतः. Advisors who serve in a manner that goes against the interest of the nation may be considered as enemies or adversaries. Sthirajivi slowly built a large nest with dry sticks at the entrance to the cave of the owls, who did not realize what he was doing. One morning, after the owls had become sightless due to the sun, Sthirajivi rushed to the croaking and told him that it was time to burn down the cave of the owls. He asked him to get all the crows to each take a lighted stick and drop it on the nest he had built at the owl's place. The croaking was delighted to see Sthirajivi after many days and wanted to know what all had happened. But Sthirajivi told him that he would discuss later and to act quickly because शीघ्रकृत्येषु कार्येषु विलम्बयते यः नरः तत्कृत्यं देवता यस्य कोपात् विघ्नन्ति असंशयम्. When a person delays attending to an urgent work, the deities get angry and invariably put obstacles in his work. Yasya yasya hi karyasya phalitasya visheshatah kshipram akriyamaणत्वं कालः pibati tat phalam. Some actions give benefits when done at the right time. If not done promptly, then Kala withdraws the benefits. Quickly, the crows stopped burning sticks on the nest made by Sthirajivi, creating a huge fire that burnt all the owls to death. So, mission accomplished. Only the wise owl and his followers survived as they had left. Now let's look at some discussion about the attitudes. The croaking asked Sthirajivi that it must have been difficult to maintain his composure for so long in the company of their bitter enemies, the owls. Sthirajivi replied, Agami phala vanchayaha kashtamapi sevakaha na janati. By focusing on the expected benefits of the mission, he did not feel pain involved. Furthermore, upanata bhayai yah marga hitarthakarah bhavet sahasa nipunataya buddhaya sevya mahan kripan apiva. When danger is near, think carefully and intelligently to identify what methods are beneficial and will work. Then do them skillfully, be they superior or inferior in nature. Apmanam puraskritya manam kritva tu prishtatah swartham abhyuddharet prajnah swarthabhranshah hi murkhata. A wise person gives maximum importance to achieving the goal. It will be folly not achieving. Do not allow either ridicule or praise to affect the pursuit of the goal. Panchatantra gives examples from the Ajnatavas of the Pandavas. Their goal was to remain unrecognized for 12 months, failing which the punishment would be repeated. Difficult times call for discipline. To meet the challenge of Ajnatavas, the Pandavas had to disguise themselves, that is, move out of their comfort zones. They had to do very different type of work. The great archer Arjuna became a dance teacher. Work in difficult conditions. The strong Bhima became a cook in a smoke-filled kitchen. That work at a lower level, the royal Draupadi had to work as a servant maid to a queen and accept insults. They had to be patient and not impetuous, whatever be the provocation. They had to conceal their might until the time was right to display it. Why? Why? Because not achieving the goal could be a bigger calamity. These Subhashitas on how to deal with serious problems have wide application today. The danger could be any major challenge facing us. Maybe artificial intelligence, export tariffs, or there could be social issues, financial issues, career, business, etc. The response has to be thoughtful. Creative alternatives should be generated and evaluated. The best have to be carefully selected and skillfully executed. Then we can overcome the difficult situation and lead a happy life again. Carrying on as usual will not work. Moving out of one's comfort zones may be essential. Now some requirements for victory over opponents. The Crow King expressed his gratitude to Stirajivi for saving his kingdom and the Crow family. Stirajivi pointed out that tat na kevalam shauryam krityam sadhayati, kintu prajnaya yat kriyate tada eva vijayaya bhavati. Courage alone is not enough to attain goal. Victory also requires skillful use of intelligence. And he went on to explain that weapons are never enough. We come now to very significant lines. Shastrai hata nahi hata ripava bhavanti. Prajna hata tu ripava suhata bhavanti. Shastram nihanti purashasya sharirameka. Prajna kulam cha vibhavam cha yashah cha hanti. Weapons do not destroy the opponent. They only destroy the physical bodies. For proper destruction of the opponent, we must use intelligence to remove his popular support base, Kula, destroy his resources, Vibhava, and most important, negate his reputation and ideology, Yasha. Mere killing provokes more people to join the fight and delays the end result. The enmity is fueled by the ideology, which must be tackled for complete victory. I think these ideas have relevance for many conflicts in the world today. Now we come to accepting challenges. Panchatantra first describes 3 types of personalities and then the best of them. So different capabilities to accept challenges. Prarabhyate na khalu vigna bhayen nichai. Prarabhya vigna vihita viramanti madhya. Vigneha punah punapi pratihanyamana. Prarabhya jo uttama janaha na parityanti. Weak persons. So there are 3 types of persons he describes. Weak persons. For them, the mere thought of problems stops them from taking up challenges. Ordinary persons take up the challenge but stop when the problems become too much for them. And the strong persons, they take up the challenge and overcome the problems one after another and never give up. Next is described the superachiever, who has wisdom, foresight, and capability. Prasarati matihi karyarambe dhridi bhavati smriti swayam upanayan arthan mantroho na gacchati viplavam sfurati safala tarkashist samunattim ashnute bhavati cha ratihi slagye kritye narasya bhavishyatah. The vision expands to take a full view of the mission. Memory recalls relevant aspects when required. Intellect selects appropriate policies for success. Good foresight to properly anticipate future events. The mind focuses on important aspects and the person delights in taking up praiseworthy challenges. On this positive note, I close here. I hope you enjoyed this short glimpse. There is a lot more wisdom in the Panchatantra. It is worth reading the Sampoorna Panchatantra again and again. It can change your life and also of our society. Thank you.
Thank you, Vijay Shankar Laghate ji.